planner piece, what it is and how to get it. I don't know how I got so lucky to be in a nice corner of the internet. People, for the most part, leave really nice comments. I didn't even think a nice corner of the internet actually existed, but people have been so kind over here on this channel, including when I have mentioned I've just purchased what I believe is my third planner of 2025. And instead of people being like, wow, this is ridiculous, they're like, I totally get it. You haven't found planner piece yet. And I was like, I've never even really heard that, but yes, that is exactly what it is. It is when you and your planner are in perfect harmony. You are using it consistently. You feel good about it. You're like, this is working for me. You are achieving your goals. You're getting things done and you are feeling good. I want to give you a few tips for achieving planner piece. It's this like beautiful, illustrious thing that like, can we ever get to it? But I want to talk about some things that you could do with your planner and then a couple tips with your habits to achieve planner piece. Have I ever achieved it? I think it depends on the season that you're in and what planner you have. So anyway, let me jump right in and give you a few tips. Tip number one, and I have said this before and I will say it again, you need to make sure that your planner is the right size for you. Now, I love my Laurel Denise. I am not looking for anything new, but it is huge, which I thought to myself, that's gonna be fine. You work from home, you can just keep it open on your desk. I mean, it has a wingspan, this planner. I bet you it's like, I mean, this is one, and it just, and you want to keep it open because the idea of this planner is you've got your monthly, your weekly, your daily, your to-dos, like you can see everything all at once. Well, I didn't realize that with my Plum planner, it's only this big. So with the way my keyboard and my laptop sit with my monitor, I always had it tucked right in and it fit so perfectly. And then I got my Laurel Denise, and while I absolutely love it, I have an L-shaped desk. So instead of it being right here, it is now over here. Now that is not horrible. It is still only 1.5 feet away from me, but it actually does make a big difference, me being able to like be like writing like this while on a computer or in a meeting or talking to somebody on the phone or booking an appointment. What am I doing here? Who knows? But having that planner here versus it being on this part of the L-shaped desk, like it just doesn't, it's not that it doesn't work, it just doesn't flow as naturally. So I think that's really important of, does your planner fit and does it fit in your space? Now, if you're somebody who is traveling a lot or you're a student or you're commuting or you don't work from home, you want to make sure that your planner is going to not be too thick. It's not going to be too big. I always think that a 7x9 is a really good option because it's not so tiny that you can't write in it, but it's not so huge that you can't fit it in a purse, a laptop bag, a book bag, whatever. So tip number one, as I always say, but really think about the size of your planner and what you're going to be doing with it and your workspace. All right, tip number two, make sure you have a planner that makes sense for you. What does that mean? If you are a person that likes to just jot a couple things down for your week, you know, you've got a couple appointments to make, some work tasks to do, some family stuff, some things to order, whatever the case is, maybe a nice weekly spread is for you. If you think, I'm gonna be one of those daily people that rises, I make my cup of tea or coffee, I'm gonna meditate, get my candle, and every day I'm gonna use a daily page and I'm gonna get my day started. If you can do that, great. If you are not that person, what will happen with your planner is instead of just getting a weekly where you can get it done, it's not overwhelming, you're gonna have this daily that feels so daunting, so overwhelming. Are you gonna use it? Maybe not. And so when you get your planner, you really have to ask yourself, is this gonna work for me? Do I really need a daily? Do I want a weekly? Do I like this layout? Does this, again, from the first tip, size work for me? You know, does it have enough note pages in the back? So really think about how you have historically used planners. If you're new to having a planner, maybe get something simple at first because that might be a good starting point, but just think about what you're going to be using it for, because even though it's not bad to have a goal or to want to be like, I'm going to get organized, trying a new routine, sometimes, especially the daily ones, they tend to be more expensive. Those are not the best way to go. Make sure that your planner outline and style works for you. Okay, tip number three is about your habits. Use your planner. I know that sounds ridiculous, but sometimes I'm like, I haven't even looked at my planner in 4 days. It's not something that you even have to look at your planner every single day. A lot of people do, but what if you make yourself Monday, Wednesday, and Friday do a 10-minute check-in each morning, right? Monday, beginning of the week, Wednesday, middle of the week, Friday, end of the week, 10 minutes. Is there anything urgent that has to be done today? Is there anything upcoming that I definitely have to deal with this week? That way it takes the pressure off of, I need to do this every day, to the point where you stress yourself out and you don't use it. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday is consistent. So make yourself a schedule. You're gonna look at things Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe just Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, like whatever the case is. Maybe you're only gonna look at your planner once a week. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, oh, I got a bunch of stuff done. And again, this comes back to how do you stay organized, but maybe you keep a note in your phone of all your tasks. You're getting stuff done, checking things off on your phone. And when you go back to your planner, that's when you're highlighting all of the things that were also on your phone list. I'm not saying overcomplicate things, but like sometimes if I'm super stressed, typically before a trip, I will set alarms on my phone so that I don't forget to do certain things. So my alarms look crazy. It'll be like vitamins, like something I need to remember to pack, but then it'll be a task like stop mail. And so it's all of these different alarms. And I mean, I could just put a checklist in my note on my phone. I don't know why I do it like this. Maybe because I know that it will ring if I don't address it before it goes off. And so it really holds me accountable. But at any rate, make sure that you are checking in and using it regularly because that will help you. Next up is sometimes your to-do list gets backed up and you're like, I can't even look at it, and then you stop using your planner, or you haven't made your to-do list, you're overwhelmed. It could be a seasonal thing. It could just be a tough week. You could be really busy. So I like to give myself a 15-minute window where I'm like, what on this list is low-hanging fruit? Can I just get this done right now? Like, for example, I have needed to send an email with one picture of my ID for like 3 weeks, and I am ashamed to admit that I haven't done it. If I do this 15-minute block, I will get that, 2 other things ordered, and maybe like a 4th task checked off that has been on my list for entirely embarrassingly way too long. So give yourself maybe just like a power week where like I've been kind of out of it, maybe you've been traveling, whatever the case is, last few weeks, and I'm going to focus this week. Can I check off 10 things? Even if they're small things, can I check off 10 things? Or you're like, you know what? Today during my lunch break, I'm gonna give myself 15 minutes. I'm going to check off anything I can in 15 minutes. Maybe that's one thing, maybe it's 4, but it's still something off the list and you don't have to think about it. So make sure you designate check-in times where you are not just going to be looking at the planner, but saying, I'm going to pick something that I'm going to be able to highlight or address on my to-do list. It could be a daily, a weekly, a monthly task. And that way, getting little things done and being like, wow, I'm being productive will also encourage you to keep using your planner. Next tip, get back to basics. If you are like, I have just not been using my planner, I do not have planner peace, like I am so overwhelmed, like I can't find something that fits, be it the planner, the routine, whatever, go back to the basics. Couple pens, a couple highlighters, done. We don't need anything that is aesthetic, washi tape, a fancy system. I'm gonna color code, like you don't need that. If you get to that point, great. If you can maintain that, great. But I think people forget that sometimes with planners, you need to think about maintenance. Like this way that I have set my organizational system up, I can do it for a week or 2, but can I maintain it long term? Maybe you're like, I wanna try something for a few weeks and I know I can't maintain it, but I'm gonna try it anyway. That's fine. But if you have set yourself up with this fancy system and it's not working for you, it's only gonna get you down. So go back to the basics. Like I said, pens, I just got brand new. I love them so much. I have been obsessed with the erasable pens. And my husband for my birthday got me a bunch of, I think it was like a 12 pack or 15 pack, so many new colors. So that is really fun, but again, easy. And highlighters, that's it. I don't do washi tape. I really don't do stickers anymore. Maybe once in a while, if I'm feeling fancy, I'll do just like a floral border because it's pretty, but it's not functional. It's just something I like, and it keeps things so simple and it doesn't overwhelm me. So just think about that if you're like, I have set up this fancy system and it's not working for you. All right, and lastly, this is my bonus tip to achieve planner peace. Maybe you don't need a planner. I hate to be the one to say that, especially because I love planners and this is a planner channel, but let me explain. I recently did a review for a product that I saw. It is literally like a clip folio with a very pretty legal size pad in there with a couple of different breakdowns in terms of like you got a big section in the middle, a couple small subsections, and maybe that's what you need. Maybe you keep your calendar in your phone, or you have a big wall calendar, or you share a calendar with a roommate or a spouse or a partner, like whatever. And you have this intricate planner, but the planner isn't for your plans. You keep your calendar separate. Well, maybe then you don't need a planner for your to-dos. Maybe all you need is a really nice setup note in your phone. Maybe in your phone, you just put a little cute emoji of a house and be like house projects. The next thing is like a little like a tree or a menorah for Hanukkah or Christmas, like my holiday gifts. Like, and you just make, you know, your to-do list there because maybe you just don't need a planner. Maybe it's too complicated. Or you get that legal pad, like I said, that cute little clip folio, or, you know, a to-do list notepad. There are a million of them everywhere. I can link a few below, or, you know, you're out and about and you just get a regular notebook for 99 cents, like that might work for you. So again, sometimes the best way to organize yourself is, like I said a moment ago, not to overcomplicate things, and sometimes that means you don't need a planner. You organize your calendar and your schedule in one place, and maybe you just make a simple to-do elsewhere outside of a planner that's easier to maintain and feels way less overwhelming. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. Planner piece, I used the word earlier, illustrious, but I think what I meant was elusive. Like, does it really exist? Do we have planner peace? So leave me a comment below if you have ever achieved planner peace, and if so, like, what was your system? What was the planner? What season of life were you in where you were like, I have a system. We have been working months. I'm feeling really good. Or if you have that right now, tell me, leave me a comment, because I would just love to hear. I would not say that I have found 100% planner piece, which I'm like a little ashamed to admit after 3 gorgeous planners, so different, all in their own unique ways, but that's just where we are. I'm just being honest with you. So I love my Laurel Denise. It's just, again, the wingspan. I've never said that about a planner before, a wingspan. This thing is huge. And I just wish it were able to be like that 7x9 size right in front of me, but then it wouldn't be laid out the way that I like it. Somebody left me a comment recently and talked about having a parking lot and whether Laurel Denise has a parking lot. So whether or not you have that planner or you have a parking lot somewhere else in your phone or on a list, that's nice, because then you don't have to keep copying over to-dos or long-term projects that are not gonna get done this week from your weekly, from like this week to next week to next week. And again, that could help simplify it, and maybe all you need is a notebook. Anyway, I could go on and on about this forever, but let me know if you have found a planner piece. Leave me a comment below. And if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.